والله كاكو امشي انا كهربائي ما شو انا برسمو كم درفتم دني شو انا قرم زام كهرباء رسمو كهرباء آدم ليه بقرآن زور كم بوته هذه فيها عمله برام
Mother relieved tonight after 27 years. Her daughter's suspected killer is now behind bars. But tonight she has a new hope for another family that's waited for decades for justice.
Now, new at 10, 41 Action News reporter Lexi Suter spoke with Sarah De Leon's mother about that hope tonight. Lexi.
Yeah, Rhiannon, Sarah's mother told me it feels wonderful to finally have someone behind bars for murdering her daughter, but justice is still far from over.
48-year-old Carolyn Heckert sits in jail on a $1 million bond for murdering Sarah De Leon over 2 decades ago. Now Heckert's arrest is raising questions in a separate but similar case.
What I'm looking for is for some charges out of Jackson County on Diana Alt's murder.
Sarah De Leon's mother, Gail Eliason, is working closely with the family of Diana Alt. Alt was killed in 1994, but earlier this year, police connected the two murders. When Eliason learned Heckert was in custody, she didn't believe it.
Until I saw her name in print and I saw her mugshot online, it was awesome. It felt wonderful.
De Leon was just 18 when police discovered her body stabbed and beaten along railroad tracks in KCK. Her brutal murder in 1989 is still difficult for her family to comprehend today.
The birthdays, the holidays, it was just like I was watching somebody else's story. It wasn't my story. It wasn't my family's story.
But letting her murder go unsolved was not an option. Eliason was persistent in getting Sarah's case reopened and her killer behind bars.
I had to help Sarah have a voice here. I had to help her get a day in court. And as long as there was a possibility, I could not stop.
Independence Police told me tonight they have no update currently on Diana Alt's case. Meantime, Carolyn Heckert is in the Clay County Jail awaiting extradition to here in Wyandotte County. Reporting live tonight in Kansas City, Kansas, Lexi Suter, 41 Action News.
Kansas City man is behind bars accused of stalking his ex-girlfriend. Court documents reveal the man was able to track his ex's every move by using his smartphone. 41 Action News investigator Jessica McMaster talked to the experts and is learning the steps you should take to protect yourself.
Court records show the woman became suspicious when her ex-boyfriend started showing up seemingly everywhere. That's when she looked under her car and found his cell phone taped underneath.
This man, Darren Nessel, is locked up in the Jackson County Jail for stalking. Court records the 41 Action News investigators obtained show Nessel's ex-girlfriend previously filed for a personal protection order against him, but told police it didn't stop him from leaving notes on her car or sneaking up behind her at a gas station to ask, "Why are you doing this to me?" Then Nessel's ex found his cell phone taped to the bottom of her car. She took it straight to the police.
Unfortunately, stalking is a problem, and technology just makes it a lot easier for people to find you.
Technology expert Burton Kelso says all smartphones come with some sort of tracking device. And while it appears Nessel used his own phone to track his ex, stalkers can just as easily tap into your smartphone.
You can easily find someone's GPS location with the app inside of a smartphone.
Also, Kelso says it's relatively easy for someone to download apps onto your phone without you even knowing it.
You want to make sure that you don't have any tracking apps on your smartphone. It's important number one, to make sure that your smartphone is locked at all times so that you don't have strangers looking at the information on your phone or putting things that shouldn't belong on your phone.
Nessel admits to putting the cell phone on his ex's car, calling her and trying to contact her through Facebook.
Now, if you think someone is tracking you but can't figure out how they're doing it, one option is to set your phone back to factory defaults. That will wipe out anything that was placed on it after you bought it. I'm investigator Jessica McMaster, 41 Action News.
Italian police have released a video showing them intercepting a minivan containing migrants at the French border. 17 people, all of African origin, were later detained. The van driver, an Italian man, has been charged with helping illegal immigration and inhumane treatment. The Italian town of Ventimiglia, close to the frontier, has become known as Mini Calais. More than 1,000 migrants are stuck and charities run centres there. Each week, hundreds of migrants fleeing war or poverty try to cross into France, which has tightened border controls after the terror attacks of the past year. Thousands have been arrested on the French side and sent back to Italy. Several organisations have warned of poor sanitary conditions, and there have been calls for France to reopen its border on humanitarian grounds.
Good morning. Shots fired at a Shawnee Quick Trip overnight.
This happened near 75th and Schweitzer. As 41 Action News reporter Sarah Plake found out, this all started when the officers tried to arrest a man on a felony warrant.
So, Sarah, is he in custody right now?
No, police were not able to arrest him. The suspect is still out there. Police are working to find him right now. They're using quick trip surveillance, and this all happened here behind me, where police still have that area taped off. A Shawnee police officer was following a car and ran the plates, finding out the owner has a felony warrant out. He pulled the car over right here in Quick Trip parking lot and saw that a Lenexa officer was pulling in to go inside as well, and that's when things escalated.
The Shawnee officer flagged the Lenexa officer over, said, hey, can you help me contact this guy involving the warrant? They go up to contact this guy. A struggle ensues. The Lenexa officer falls down as the person who had the warrant was starting to back the vehicle up. The Lenexa officer falls down and discharges his firearm.
Right, so we're learning that the officer did mean to shoot. We don't know if the suspect is hit or not. The suspect is in a blue car, and we're hearing that he was last seen getting on I-35 north. The Lenexa officer who shot his gun is now on paid administrative leave. That's just normal protocol. And now Johnson County investigators are stepping in to finish that investigation. Like I said, taking pictures, looking at surveillance to see if we can track this guy down. In Shawnee, I'm Sarah Plake, 41 Action News.
Investigators want to know what caused a fire at a mobile home today that killed 3 children. 2 Works For You reporter Corley Peel is in Arcoma near the Arkansas border with the family story.
Police tell me this living room hallway area is where they believe the fire started. The mother and her friend were able to get out, but the children died in the fire. Her boyfriend tells me the mother did everything she could to try and save her kids.
I just wonderful kids, man, you know. It's hard. I ain't even set in on me yet. They're gone, you know.
Eddie Metzer says he wasn't at his house this morning when his Arcoma mobile home caught fire, killing his girlfriend's 3 children.
It's hard to see 3 kids just vanish, you know. Kids you spent 2 or 3 years with, you know, and they're gone. I don't understand it.
Arcoma police say the mother, her friend, and 3 children were sound asleep when the smoke detectors went off. They say the 2 adults were able to crawl out of a window.
Flames were shooting out the top and have all the windows, and I had to get the mother away from the windows, and she was trying to crawl in the windows, the doors, you know. She was trying to get back in the house and save the babies.
And when the fire truck got here and finally got hooked up with water, she hollered, spray in that bedroom, my baby's in there. And
but the children ages 19 months, 6 and 11 years old were stuck inside.
I just hope they find out what caused it, and then I feel sorry, you know, for the kid.
Now Metzer is picking up the pieces of what used to be a home. He says he just wishes he could have been there when the flames broke out.
Maybe if I'd been there, I might have could save something. I don't know if I could or not, but I'd give my life to save them kids.
Police say the mother hurt her hand and had burns from trying to save her children. They say she is now in intensive care at a local hospital. Investigators say the cause of the fire is still under investigation. Reporting in Arcoma, Corley Peel, 2 Works for You.
Today we witnessed the Battle of Bartella firsthand with the Golden Brigade, this elite unit within the Iraqi army. We were on a rooftop with the generals watching the battle. There was a lot of artillery, heavy gunfire coming from within the city, wounded soldiers as well. We saw one being evacuated in an armored vehicle before he was transferred into an ambulance. He had a bullet in his arm. So indeed some very harsh fighting there, but eventually the Golden Division managed to liberate the city. That means they are now 6 to 7 kilometers from the outskirts of Mosul, and some of the officers were telling us that they believe they can enter the city of Mosul within the next 2 or 3 days. On the Peshmerga front, it's been slightly more difficult, including in the battle for the city of Karakosh. That's another key city on the road to Mosul. It was a majority Christian city before it was taken by IS. It's highly symbolic, of course, but they're facing heavy resistance from jihadists there and have not been able to actually take that city as of yet. It's also important to note that General al-Assadi, the head of the Golden Brigade, was telling us that he was getting a lot of intelligence from residents of Mosul who were pointing targets to the army. He was also telling us that that was extremely dangerous for them. One family was executed because the militants found a satellite phone in their apartment. We actually witnessed a phone call, one of these phone calls, where he was told that all the foreign jihadists had left the city, fled towards Syria on the last front, which is the humanitarian one. And indeed, 1.8 million people are thought to be living in the city right now. Well, we did see some camps being built, but indeed the conditions there will no doubt be harsh if there is a massive exodus of Mosul.
Well, that fighting in outlying areas of Mosul has already forced almost 6,000 people to flee their homes. That's according to the International Organization for Migration. The UN's refugee agency says that 900 families have taken shelter in just one reception centre in the village of Al Houd. NGOs fear that up to 1 million people could be displaced by this battle. For more, we can speak to Abu Shah, the emergency coordinator for the NGO Médecins Sans Frontières, who joins us now live from the city of Erbil. Mr. Shah, thank you very much for being with us here on France 24 this morning. Can you first of all paint us a picture of what the situation is like on the ground there for civilians?
Thank you. For us at Médecins Sans Frontières, we are working in different camps that exist already around the city of Mosul. There is already big numbers of displaced people that are living in a situation that is far from being optimal. People are suffering from a lack of access to healthcare, in addition to the burden of displacement and the emotional burden that they carry, and psychological problems from the war and the displacement.
The United Nations estimates that up to 1 million people could be forced from their homes during this battle to retake the city. What's been put in place to help those people?
In addition to the already existing programs that we have in the camps and in the villages that are hosting displaced people from Mosul and around Mosul, we have already preparing teams on the ground and sending medical supplies to be and preparing for any possible scenario with displacement or other needs.
And if you had one message to give to the international community this Friday, what would that be?
I would say that already in Iraq there is more than 2 million or 3 million of displaced people that are already suffering from the consequences of war. This campaign will increase this number. Whatever the scenario is, the population will suffer, and all what we can do is to help with this and assist medically the population suffering.
Mr. Shah, the fighting around Mosul has been going on now for several days. What have people that have already fled that violence been telling you?
The people who have fled are in extreme I would say fatigue, They are already suffering from lack of access of healthcare. To add to it, the road of displacement that is very difficult, and then arriving to a situation that maybe is safer, but the life is more difficult. We see people who are newly displaced or displaced from 1 year from the situation around Mosul. Some people are somehow in a loss of hope for the future. Some people are more optimistic, so it depends, yes.
This is AP News Minute. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton traded sharp barbs Thursday night during the annual Alfred E. Smith Memorial Foundation dinner in New York. Trump took several swipes at Clinton, sparking rare boos at a charity event meant to raise money for impoverished children. Iraqi police say 3 Islamic State militants have stormed a power plant north of the city of Kirkuk, killing 11 workers, including 2 Iranians, before blowing themselves up. The attack took place some 100 miles from the Islamic State-held city of Mosul, where Iraqi forces have been waging a wide-scale offensive since Monday. A firefighter who's being hailed as a hero for helping to evacuate a building before a powerful gas explosion says he was tossed up to 20 feet by the blast. The explosion in Portland hurt 8 people and demolished a 3-story historic building. Cuba and the United States signed an agreement Thursday in Havana to exchange information and work together in the research of cancer. The U.S. government last week announced new measures that would allow both countries to work together in medical research. Krista Fourier, Associated Press, with AP News Minute.